So Hunu Peacock Bass is the fish that you have to catch to mooch into the new 7.4 big fish Punutiy Pain, and it is not easily isolatable or identifiable within its fishing hole. This doesn't necessarily make it difficult to catch, but it is meaning that you're going to be reeling in a lot of other things that aren't Hunu Peacock Bass. So I wanted to do this video to show how you can maximize your chances of your bites being Hunu Peacock Bass. So we're going to use Golden Stonefly Nymphs because that's the highest bite rate for Hunu Peacock Bass, and I'm going to use Patience 2, and I'm going to cast out, and I'm going to use Ambitious Lure up to 3 times. We're doing this not to increase the chance of Hunu Peacock Bass to bite, but to minimize the weak bites from biting. I'll explain that in a second. Then I'll use Powerful Hook Set to reel in any strong bites before 17 seconds. And then I will use Spareful Hand to store the Hunu Peacock Bass, and I'll use Identical Cast to catch a second one. That's your pretty much bog standard Spareful Hand Identical Cast trick. And I will just catch the second one and I will store it. So what just happened? That was a lot. So we start with Golden Stonefly Nymph because of all the possible baits that we could be using, it has the highest bite rate for Hunu Peacock Bass. So if you compare the bite rates of all the baits, Golden Stonefly Nymph is the best to use for going after Hunu Peacock Bass. Next, we use Patience 2. We're going to be reeling in a lot of fish. Peaks Poga has a lot of overlapping bites around when Hunu Peacock Bass is going to be biting as well, and we can't identify which one is which, so we have to be reeling in all of these strong bites. Using Prize Catch, just 200 GP for a wasted catch, or every cast is going to be really expensive, so we use Patience 2 for GP economy. It also brings in Angler's Art Stacks, which we can use throughout the window to regenerate some health a little bit quicker. Kind of basically we'd be getting refunds for each of our catches with Powerful Hook Set. After using Patience 2, we immediately start using Ambitious Lure. Now this is the part that I don't think a lot of people realize you can use Ambitious Lure for. When we have talked about using Ambitious Lure, at least in overworld fishing, we have talked about it as a way to make fish that are less likely to bite more likely to bite. And that is because that hook set that we're going to be using lure for works well when the target fish is like the least dominant bite type. Well, in Peaks Poga, the strong bites that we want are the dominant bites. Like that's what maybe I think it's like 65 or so % of your bites are all going to be strong bites. So why are we using Ambitious Lure? Because of that last 30%. That last like 30-35% of bite rate is a weak bite. And we don't want that. We don't want 1 in 3 casts to be a weak bite. We want as many casts as possible to be strong bites, because that then means that we're getting more chances at Hunu Peacock Bass. So we use Ambitious Lure not necessarily to make the strong bites more likely to bite. We're using it to make the weak bites less likely to bite. This is literally just to make it so that we have effectively a soft surface slap on that weak biting fish. Doesn't guarantee it, hence why it's a soft surface slap, but it does effectively diminish that bite rate down pretty low. And then the last thing we do is we only reel in bites between 9 and 17 seconds. We do this because Hunu Peacock Bass will only bite between that time. If you get a bite after that, it isn't going to be Hunu Peacock Bass. So why would we wait for it if it's not going to be that? So as soon as you hit 17 seconds, you use rest, and then you just cast back out and you repeat. And that's basically how it goes. You'll use this technique through the entire window. It is very GP intensive. I highly recommend getting 10 Angler's Art Stacks before the window opens. If you do not have a ton of GP, or you are not confident in your GP management skills, during the window itself, you don't need to do the Spareful Hand plus Identical Cast trick. just as soon as you catch a Hunu Peacock Bass, immediately mooch it. Only once when you start getting a feel for how much GP you have to work with, then you can start slipping in spareful hand and identical cast. I wanted to get this video out now so that you could have time to practice, which I do recommend, and so that when you go into a Punutiy Pain window, you have a little bit of a better chance of getting more mooches out than not, and really increasing your chance for Punutiy to actually bite. So, good luck, and happy fishing.